Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Hillman here. Today I have a guest with me, Aila. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes.
Say a little bit something about yourself.
My name is Isla.
Y'all.
Not Alia. Many people think my name is Alia, but it's not.
I never thought that.
You never thought that?
Just saying.
I'm a first year medical student. I have a bachelor already, liberal arts and sciences. I majored in biomedical sciences or pre-med in Utrecht. After that, I took a year off. I traveled, I interned in Jamaica, I interned in Ethiopia, and...
Those were internships.
And then I applied for medical school. Multiple medical schools. So that also took a big... Again!
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, so that's me.
Okay. Thank you for coming
Born
on the
and
channel.
raised in Malawi.
Thank you for coming on the channel. It's a very important fact. Just throwing it in there. But guys, basically, I know a lot of you have been asking questions. A lot of you are interested in knowing, like, a lot of the questions I get on the channel are mostly medical students who have questions about the selection, have questions about the journey of getting accepted, the emotional damage and trauma that goes with the whole selection and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be cool to have like a first-year medical student who just started basically like last month to share experiences and just give people an insight into how it is to actually go through that journey long after trying for the first time, but we'll get to that. And actually getting accepted and how the experience is in the first few weeks and stuff like that. So I have a lot of questions lined up.
All right.
Okay, so the first question is, you did the selection 5 years ago.
Yes.
For the first time.
Yes.
And then you went and did another study and came back 5 years later for the selection again. That for me is just mind blowing. The first time I heard it, I was like, wow, how do you come back 5 years later? But just give us an insight into your thought process.
Okay.
In the 5 years, did you plan to come back when you were leaving? What was it like for you? How did you find your way back to applying again? I'm curious how that all went.
Okay, so my first choice was always Maastricht because it's one of the 2 universities in the Netherlands where you can do the first 2 years in English, get your Dutch up, and then it's international as well, which I've always gone to international schools. So that was also a big thing for me. So I applied fresh out of high school and I didn't pass the first round, so I didn't get to the exam round.
Oh, you didn't get to the exam round?
No, I didn't.
That's a very relatable story for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, but then I also I was thinking about it today because I knew that you'd talk about it as well, and I don't know what I could have done differently because I scored highest in the whole school. I was even in the newspaper, you know.
In which school?
In Malawi.
Okay.
I did A-levels, so also it wasn't like it was a curriculum which they didn't recognize. They very much recognized my A-levels. Yeah, so I really don't know what it was because I did all the extracurriculars. I got the best grades. I think I just wasn't very good at telling myself. I think that's where it goes wrong. And also, as you mentioned in my video, writing what you think they want you, what they want to hear, instead of I don't know, writing just from your heart, I guess.
Yeah.
You write what they want to hear. And then, so then I heard about other people who I know went to school with me who were studying in the Netherlands that did liberal arts and sciences. And then they got their bachelor in science, in pre-med, biomedical sciences. Then you can join Zijinstrom, which means basically joining halfway through with all the regular medical students. And then that's also a whole other process. So after I got rejected from Maastricht, I took a gap year. And then I applied for liberal arts and sciences in Utrecht.
Okay.
Right. So then I did the liberal arts and sciences in Utrecht. And after that, I applied to do Zijinstrom.
Okay.
In Utrecht as well. But Zijinstrom is so... normal medicine is very difficult to get into. Yeah. Zijinstrom is another level.
But I feel like also in Utrecht, it's next level.
In Utrecht,
it's very competitive. It's one of the best.
Yep. And to try and get in, you have to do this exam, which is it's a crazy exam. And then they only interview top 60 scoring, I think. Top 80 scoring. So if you don't even have a good score on that exam, they don't even look at your motivation or anything like that.
That's crazy.
And it's all in Dutch.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. And I was still in the process of learning Dutch, so I applied to go straight after my bachelor. And the first time around, I didn't pass. I didn't score high enough on the exam
In Utrecht.
in Utrecht. Yeah. So then that's when I took my next year off, and then I said, okay, this Zijenstrom is not promised, and I still really like the program here in Maastricht. So I said, okay, I'll try for both, and then we'll see whichever one I get into.
Yeah.
That's what I'll get into. So then I applied again for Zijenstrom, and then this time I did pass the exam.
For the Zijenstrom.
For the Zijenstrom, and I got to the interview round, and then I think they took top 40 from the interview round, and I scored 48.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because with the Zijenstrom, you would go to year...
I think you have to do 4 more years, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
joining in third year.
Third year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then the Zijenstrom is research, and at the end you're a researcher and a doctor.
Yeah, like you have here as well.
Yeah.
The Summa.
Yeah, Suma, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know a friend who just finished the program.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So your plan was always to go out and come back.
Yeah.
It's not like you left and all of a sudden you're like, oh, maybe I do like
Yeah.
medicine. Oh, it's okay.
No, the
That's
plan was always to eventually still end up as a doctor one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Okay. Then
Yeah.
that makes sense. I'm a little less flabbergasted. Now.
You thought I lived a whole other life.
I was like, 5 years? How? But anyways, 2 things you said, which I think I feel like are so important. Selling yourself. I literally had to get some sort of coaching from my friend's parents on how to sell myself. Because when I was working on my portfolio in the beginning, in Cameroon, you don't boast about the things you're good at. Like, you don't talk about the things you're good at because it's considered as boasting and it has a negative connotation. But like for the selection, it's all about selling yourself.
Yeah.
There's no other way they would know what you can do
Exactly.
if you don't tell them. So it's
Yeah.
something I literally had to learn. Like I had to literally sit down with a friend's parents and they're like, what are you good at? Write it this way because that way really shows that you're passionate about stuff. And I feel like that's something which is crucial for people with a similar background as me, because it's a struggle. It's just a struggle. Like we just don't like talking about the stuff we're good at like that. Especially in this kind of a setting, you don't want to boast, you don't want to brag.
Yeah.
But you have to.
Exactly.
There's no other way they're gonna know.
But you have to do it in a way that you also don't seem like full of yourself.
Exactly. That's the truth.
It's very difficult. Do you think we're disadvantaged because we didn't really? I mean, you had training from your friend's parents.
It wasn't really like training. We just like talked and they told me you have to sell yourself.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't know how to do that. They were like, yeah, but you have to say blah blah blah.
Yeah. But I think here they do get more help, right, with the applications.
I mean, they are used to doing that already. Like you have to write CV and motivational letters for job applications and stuff like that. So they're used to the whole concept of why should we hire you?
Yeah.
What are your top skills? What are your... So it's like we are to some degree disadvantaged because we've never had to work in that system unless you come from a background where you've been frequently exposed to stuff like that. But yeah, that's cool. And another thing was, funnily enough, you went to the liberal arts and sciences program in Utrecht. My sister did the one in Rotterdam. So like the liberal arts and sciences EUC in Rotterdam, pre-med.
Oh.
And basically what happens there is so cool. Take notes. What happens there is when you're done with the pre-med, at least as it is now, there is a fixed quota of spots for the science room. So like people can continue just with the masters, or they do the pre-masters and then they go on with the masters in medicine. So it's like you have to do 4 more years indeed. There is a fixed quota of people getting accepted to the foundation program for the masters who did the EUC bachelor's pre-med. So if you're, for example, say 50 graduates from the pre-med program in Rotterdam, and the quota is 20, and only 20 of you apply for the foundation program, all of you get in automatically.
Wow, we don't have to do anything extra.
You don't have to do anything. So my sister literally got into medicine without having to do like a proper selection.
Wow. I didn't know your sister studied medicine.
She doesn't. She didn't do it. But she just got in.
Yeah.
Like she got the spot. She was like, nah, I'm good.
Wow, that's such a good system.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't know it because you have to go for 3 years and then
exactly.
you're not sure how many people are going to apply for the medical program. But like my sister's here, she was lucky, but there were not that many people applying, so they could go in. But that's cool because I feel like a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky, you can just easily just get like into the master's in medicine without having to do that much.
So if it's more than that 20, then what do the rest have
Then
to
there
do?
has to be like a proper selection.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if you're lucky, then there's less.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is cool.
If I knew that 5 years ago,
you would have started in Rotterdam.
I would have, yeah.
Okay, so basically, I have a clear picture now of how the journey went. That was very clear and concise. Thank you. Now you're back. So let's talk about the journey getting here. Starting with, how did you feel about applying again? Because the first time you didn't even get around, past the first round.
Yeah.
How did you feel? What was your emotional predisposition like coming back to apply?
I feel like I kind of just did it as a backup thing. Like I did like the course, but because it takes longer than if I did Zai Instrom, it was kind of like, okay, I'm applying for this just in case I don't get into the Zai Instrom.
Yeah.
So, and I was also in Jamaica at the time doing my internship, so it was also like, I don't know, it was a weird space that I was in, trying to apply for all these different universities at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But also because it was 5 years ago and I'm a completely different person to who I was then. I don't even remember what they asked the first time. I feel like it felt like just a completely different process. Like even just the website looks different.
Oh, yeah.
Like the website looks so different. It felt like a completely different application process. And what else did you ask?
No, that was me. That was the first thing.
Right?
So you didn't have like any negative connotations or like negative charge towards applying?
It was just a bit stressful because you can apply twice only in your life.
Yeah, because you said that as well.
Yeah, and it was my second time. So
it's like, if it's not this time.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 times though.
It's 3?
I think it's probably changed with the numerous fixes thing and applying to
True.
Same program.
Yeah.
You did the same program 3 times, but then the same university 2 times. It could be something like that.
Yeah. And I think also because I reached a point of my life where I'm like, I'm going to try my best. That's all I can do.
If it's not it, it's not it.
If it's not it, it's not it. Yeah, the universe wants other things for me.
Yeah, fair enough. So you basically were just coming to it open, second backup choice. What was the selection procedure like for you? Do you feel like it was a lot easier now having a bachelor's from the Netherlands than it was like having an A-level back then?
Yeah, for sure. Because there was also a lot more things that I could talk about, like a lot more experience.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I'm also a lot more reflective. So the things that I have experienced, I can talk about them better. I can sell myself better.
The portfolio definitely looks a lot better too, I can imagine.
Exactly. Because coming out of high school, I mostly had like extracurriculars as sports, you know? That was about it.
Everyone had sports.
Yeah.
Everyone could run into the farm.
Yeah, exactly. But now I had a lot more that I could talk about, and my bachelor I also did a lot more of just trying random different things.
Oh, okay.
And so I think that really boosted my application.
Because what do you think could have made your application the first time when you had your A-levels and just sports? What do you think you could have done that could have made your application in terms of extracurriculars at least stand out more?
Yeah, I've really been thinking about that because now I also look at the people in my intake group who are fresh out of high school. And I don't know much about them yet, but I'm trying to figure out what it is that makes them different to me when I was 18.
Yeah.
But I think, I specifically mentioned that my only extracurriculars were sports because I think they also look for other extracurriculars like maybe Model UN. I don't know if people do that in high school.
Yeah, I think, for example, like here, right, kids are put in like art school at the age of like 10, 12. Kids are put in like, I don't know, gaming, a lot of things. So people are like, they are put in environments to explore their other interests really early enough. Yeah. So if someone finds out that they actually like working in the hospital, they're sent off to like a hospital internship at the age of 16, 15. So they do have a lot more in their pockets when they're applying compared to us. I was fortunate that I think I was refectorian in high school, so like I was in charge of food. So that's like a position of authority leadership, part of the basketball team. Also, I had a leadership role there as well. I was leading running. I was senior prefect in school, which was that I was a journalist. I was the editor of the school's newspaper. Yeah. So like I had a few things which if I was not told to sell myself, I would never have put that in there. Like I would never have thought that being the editor was something which showed leadership skills. But they're really looking for leadership and team spirit skills. And I feel like once I knew that, I was like, best believe I could work in the farm and tell people where to like stand and stuff. So I feel like that really made a difference for me.
I think it's just not being able to sell myself because I was also prefect, not senior prefect, but I was prefect.
I wasn't senior prefect, I was a senior prefect.
Oh, okay.
So you have junior prefects and senior prefects.
Oh, okay.
I did campaign for the senior prefect, like the SP, like the most senior of all, the one who leads the whole regime. Yeah. But I dropped out of the running. It wasn't for me. Yeah. Oh, you had to see me back in the days. I was walking. You know how prefects do now. You know how they walk. I have pictures where the two people who were campaigning for senior prefects in my year were standing next to each other, and you could tell. They just had the composure. We're like,
I think it was really just selling myself because I also had quite a bit of experience. But like you said, they do ask. I think they did ask, or I did many different applications. I applied to Leeds University in the UK.
In the UK?
I went to Leeds. The application process there is
I can imagine the UK.
nuts.
I can imagine the UK.
They had a simulated patient contact at the interview.
Well, that's cool though.
It is cool, but 17-year-old me alone in the UK for the first time. And there was a patient there. And I was like, and I was alone. Everyone came with their parents. And then you wait because they do mini interviews.
Wait, you went from Malawi to Leeds?
Yes.
For the interview?
Yes.
That is deep.
It was only for me to not get in. That same week I went for a Drake concert.
In the UK? Okay, at least it wasn't for nothing.
Exactly.
It wasn't for nothing.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah, you're waiting in the interview room because they do mini interviews. It's like 8 little boxes, and then you go from each box, like you rotate, like all the different 8 people being interviewed. Mm-hmm. And so you're waiting in the interview room. So I was there. It was cold. It was February. I was like, what am I doing here? Everyone was there with their parents. I was there all alone. And then the kids are talking to each other. Yeah, I just came back from a gap year.
Axel was on point though.
And I was there like
Axel was on
missing
point.
classes. I was like, gap year.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it definitely is a different system.
Yeah.
It definitely is a different system. I don't even know if like the whole portfolio thing is really pretty, but I think that's one thing. I like the system in Maastricht University because I had been out of school for like a year or a year and a half when I was applying. So if they like needed me to like have knowledge of physics and chemistry and biology and math, I would flunk. And like my classmates who did selections like Rotterdam, Leiden and stuff, they all had this system of like really theory exams. And Maastricht was more, how do you see things? Who are you as a person? How do you perceive scenarios? How do you react to scenarios?
Yeah, they have a very different philosophy. Yeah.
That was definitely what I needed at that time. Okay, what were some of your best and worst experiences of the selection?
Best and worst.
Yeah.
Best and worst experience.
Start with worst.
Start with worst?
Yeah.
I think because I was traveling when I was writing the applications, it was annoying to be like, I could hear the ocean. But I was sitting there behind my laptop.
Oh, with the selection procedure.
Yeah.
Okay,
I had to be working, like finding the discipline to step away from the enjoyment to work on my application.
Tough.
Yeah. But I think it also showed me that I can be anywhere in the world. I can have however much I have on my plate. And so I managed to get into med school. So, like, I was doing an internship, traveling.
I still managed to get in. I just did my thing.
Yeah. But also just, I think the second part, just because it was online, and not having enough time to finish it, which most students also didn't have enough time, but also because, but then yours was in person, so you could talk to the people afterwards, right? Like your fellow classmates.
Yeah, all of us did not finish.
Yeah, so then the worst part was you finish and then you're alone in your room and you're like, everybody finished it.
Oh, yeah.
You can't talk to everyone else who did it afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, and the last
tough.
question was quite, not easy, but like, I know I would have aced it. And I was just looking at it as the computer closed and came out. Oh, that's so sad.
Oh, yeah, that's tough. I can actually see how that's tough because we had a lot of, like, we're in a big room. And you could see everyone's stress. You could see everyone like, hey, we have to finish. So like, you know you're not alone.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I can imagine that's tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah.
Because there's no other forum for you to like come in contact with other people and find out that they also that's tough.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then another worst was the subject deficiency exam.
Did you have to take a deficiency exam? You did?
I did.
For which subject?
Physics.
No way.
Yeah.
You had to take the physics exam?
I had to take the physics exam. I had to learn the whole VWO thing in physics.
No, high school physics.
By myself.
When did you do that?
I did it first in April, and then I did it in June, and then I did it in August.
You did it 3 times?
Yes.
Whoa. You did the physics deficiency exam 3 times?
Yes.
Was this in your gap year?
Yes.
So after you finished your bachelor's?
Yeah.
Yeah,
tough.
Well, that's tough because you could have been smart about it and like done it the years of your bachelor, but you didn't know you were gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
And then the exam is also quite expensive, you know, and I didn't want to do it until I knew I was accepted. You know.
So did you do it when you knew you were accepted?
Yeah.
Oh, in April. Yeah.
Yeah, in April. But then you got accepted April 15th, and then the exam was April 25th. And I hadn't studied anything because I didn't know if I was accepted.
Oh.
And April 15th was my birthday.
Oh.
So, I didn't study for 3 days after I was accepted.
Oh.
So, like 19th of April, I was like,
Maybe I should start. But I think, because for me, like one of the happiest moments, I remember the moment so vividly. I think I have a video of it even. I'll try to find it and post it in this video. But like, I remember when I got my deficiency exemption. Because like in Cameroon, I had biology, my 4 subjects in high school, 5 subjects in high school, A levels were biology, chemistry, physics, math, religion. Because I was in a religious Catholic school, so everyone had to do religion. That's why I had everything. I had biology, physics, math, chemistry. But then the university started complicating about, oh yeah, we don't know if you're up to standard. So I'll probably have deficiencies in all these subjects.
All of them.
Right.
Wow.
So I had to literally ask for.
Yeah.
The stuff I had to ask, present to the university.
Yeah.
We talked exam questions for the exams you wrote at A-level.
Wow.
Transcripts from the first class of secondary school.
Yeah.
I was 9. I had to get transcripts from back then. Recommendation letters from my teachers, explanations from the board on how the curriculum works. Yo, it was a lot.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I got all these documents here because I was already here. It was crazy.
Wow.
I don't know how. I'm so grateful that people actually work with me back home to make, because it was just so much.
Exactly.
And I was just constantly scared. I already planned my dates. I planned my dates for my exams.
Yeah.
This is the day for chemistry, biology, physics, math. I was like, math, I can do math because math was And then I got the email saying I'm clear of deficiencies. Because I hit a lot of people who had to do this exam.
Yeah.
I was like, crazy. I have no literally I was short of words. I could not speak in the gym. I was like, what? And I wasn't even accepted. They just said you don't have to do the exam. And for me, I was like, what?
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
That was huge.
Those exams.
Woo! You did it 3 times. Kudos to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I did it one of the times I was doing an internship in Ethiopia. And every day I was studying for physics. I had to order.
It's physics, so it's not one of the subjects you're like, oh, let's study.
Exactly. And I had to order, I don't know if you know the binas.
Oh, binas from here,
Yeah, I had to order the binas.
And you were studying in Dutch?
To Addis. No, they had the English binas.
Wow.
But it was stressful. When I got that, I passed. Wow.
I can imagine.
I was screaming. I was in the car.
Oh.
And then the grade only came the week before we started. So I didn't know if I was officially in until the week before this started.
Oh, wow. Guys, so it's possible to have deficiencies and make it a success story. I had the similar thing when I got because I got accepted and then I had to wait for my Dutch language exams to come out, because if I failed then I could not do it, because my acceptance was conditionally based on the fact that I would be able to prove that I was proficient in Dutch. And I was in Utrecht buying a phone. When I was constantly refreshing the page, because you know exactly the day the results would come out.
Exactly.
I was refreshing the page, the results be here. And at one point, I refresh it, it appears, right? Open it, passed everything. Whoa! Wow. I was in front of a kebab joint. I just rotated. I was like, I'm gonna treat myself. Yeah. But I really know that feeling of oh, this was the last straw, and you got it.
Exactly.
But how did you feel when you got your rank number? Where were you?
Where was I?
Yeah.
For ITM?
Yeah.
7.
Your rank number was 7.
Oh, when you said where were you didn't mean my number.
No, I didn't mean. Oh, wait, you were number 7?
Yeah.
For ITM?
Yeah.
Oh. You definitely came from far. You came from far. Oh, wow.
I was so happy. You have no idea.
So where were you actually? English is so hard. I
was staying with my sister at that time.
In Rotterdam?
So I was at her place, yeah.
Oh, you were at her place that night? Okay.
Yeah. It was my birthday.
Because you checked after midnight, I think.
I think they sent it to us at 9 a.m.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Oh, ours was I was in Rotterdam.
Midnight,
I was in Rotterdam too.
Yeah?
And I received the results of the rank number. I was out there, we were transporting furniture at midnight for a party. Out here refreshing my page
Yeah.
and stuff. And he came out,
Yeah.
I was my uncle from Paris.
Yeah.
I yelled.
Wow.
I
Yeah, we
said,
had no
well,
idea
my
at
number
the
was not that high, so I wasn't sure it was ITM and stuff. So I had to use it the next day. And I found out it wasn't ITM. And I thought, okay, crap, I have to wait for Dutch. But at least I'm in. My stepdad was like, good, you're in. You just have to figure out the Dutch now.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it was my birthday. I think I had just woken up. And the night before we were Burna Boy. So it was just everything good was
I know,
happening.
right? Probably like a dopamine high or
I
endorphins
really
and
was.
stuff.
I really was. Yeah.
But I feel
The
like
whole day.
that period for sure for anyone who goes through the selection.
Yeah.
If you get in, it's like
Yeah.
yeah.
And a few days passed and I realized I actually had to write the physics exam. You know, one time my grade was 0.5 off of the passing. I was so mad. I was like, I think
Oh,
you're
the
not
first
going
time?
to let me in the second time.
The first time you failed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Second time you failed too. By 0.5.
Yes.
Tough life. And you kept doing it.
Yes, like I did it one last time. I was just like, if this doesn't work, I'm being protected from something.
Fair enough.
If I did all this studying and the third time, it was online, so I could do it online. Even though usually this is actually a life hack. Usually you can't do it online, the CCVX or the Boswell Beta. You can't.
Yeah.
But if you send them an email, then I think it's Boswell Beta. They'll send you a link to where you can register for the exam online. But that link is not available on the website itself. Like if you do it normally, like it's a hidden link. But then you have to tell them where you are, because if you say you're in Belgium or something, they'll be like, "Fuck you, come here."
Yeah, you can come and take the exam.
Yeah, exactly. But then because I said I was in Ethiopia, they let me do it online.
Oh.
Yeah, but then it's more expensive for some reason.
Exactly, but then you can also like just look up stuff.
Honestly, they didn't proctor it. It was just a Zoom video call.
Oh, it's a Zoom video call. So
Yeah.
they did video call.
Yeah. But like they really went straight. People had headphones on. I was like, what? This is not
Interesting.
serious.
Oh, so there are multiple of you doing the call. Doing the
Yeah,
exam.
exactly. And they said even to turn off our mics. So like if you're listening to anything, if someone came in and looked at the answers and told you. But then if you want to study medicine and you're cheating on an entrance exam, then
Yeah, it's a little tricky.
yeah.
It's a little tricky.
It's like
cheating your way through med school and
it's
becoming
not,
a great
yeah,
doctor.
something is misaligned there.
Yeah, something is not something. Okay,
Yeah, exactly. But I was so stressed because the Wi-Fi where I was
Oh yeah, that too.
kept kicking me out. I'm so glad they didn't disqualify me, but I lost so much time. I was like, I'm sure I'm gonna fail. Like I was so sure. I didn't even celebrate that night. I even fainted after my exam.
Oh, hey.
It was tough.
Unique struggle, guys.
Yeah.
Unique struggles, man. Explain it to your kids in 20 years when they don't know these problems. Like they don't know what Wi-Fi turning off. What is
Exactly.
Where are you living? That's a ghetto.
And I was so lucky. I bought data because I was like, if the Wi-Fi doesn't work, I'll use the data from my
data
phone.
is definitely smarter than the Wi-Fi.
But I feel like people here wouldn't think about that.
No. I had a friend from
We're
Germany who
built
went to
different.
Cameroon because I went to Cameroon for a funeral and then I came back and then COVID, boom, lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
She left Germany, went to Cameroon and then COVID, boom, lockdown.
Yeah.
She was locked down in Cameroon. She studies in Munich and she had to do a presentation online. And she actually comes from like a well-off family, so they have like Wi-Fi constantly running, electricity constantly running, generators and stuff. But she had this meeting and she was presenting and electricity said, not today. Literally, it was a blackout and the generator wasn't kicking in because I think it wasn't like fueled up and stuff like that. So the whole class just saw a black screen. Came back like an hour later and the whole class had left.
Shame.
Oh, you've been here now for like a month. How are you liking it? Is it worth it? What is your overarching vibe?
Well, when it gets tough, I think about how it's taken me 5 years literally to get here and how this is everything I always wanted, and I think that really gives me energy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is the same as it was in the original curriculum, but I love how practical it is. Like I'll be sitting in the skills lab or in core or whatever, and I just get so much energy just from being there. Like I can be so tired, struggling, with the toothpick to read my notes, but as soon as I'm in class, like I'm wide awake. Like it gives me so much energy, and I feel like I picked the right thing in life. Because in my last bachelor, because it was liberal arts and sciences, you could try other things. I did philosophy.
Yeah. But I feel like that's also because one of the main aspects of medicine in Maastricht that I like back then, that's why one of the contributing factors for me choosing as well. And retrospectively looking at things, that's one of the things I like the most of the program is the practical nature of it. Like how quickly you are exposed to simulation, simulated patient contact and stuff like that. You get hands-on skills really early. You feel like, okay, what I'm getting now I can use. And even with the new curriculum, the point is that they're going a step further with the practicality of giving you actually, acute situations. What do you do? Like things which you know, from day one, you're learning stuff which you can implement instantly. I feel like that's really one of the powerful points of Maastricht University. Like the program is just so practical, and now 5 years in, we just did a video about question and answers from like a first and a fifth year medical student. Be sure to check that out in our YouTube channel. But basically 5 years in now, and I'm like, wow, there's just so much space to also develop yourself as an all-round individual, because that's what the university is selecting people based on. How are you as an all-round individual, not just someone who gets grades, but what does your portfolio look like? And also when you get in, you really have the space to develop yourself in different ways. They encourage you to join associations, they encourage you to take part in sports, they encourage you to try honors programs which deals with like intercollaborations between different faculties and looking at things from different perspectives. I really, because like I see my friends in medical schools in different parts of the world, different like America, Cameroon and stuff like that, and they just, it just feels like they're really they're slaving in the world, in the intellectual world. They're just out there. They feel like zombies walking around. Like they just no life left, and like medicine is sucking the life out of them. And I don't feel like that's how it's supposed to be. I feel like you should enjoy the process, no matter how challenging it is. You can still enjoy challenges. You know? I feel like that is one thing I definitely will forever remain grateful to Maastricht University for. That they gave me the space to do that, and I also was able to see it and make it an opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm only like 5 weeks in, and the number of things I can do, I really didn't expect it. Right. I really didn't expect it. And this new curriculum, contrary to popular belief, I think is quite... I'm really liking it. I mean...
What advice do you have for people who are applying to who are looking forward to med school in Maastricht, who may be thinking of giving up on the process because you've come back 5 years later and it worked out great for you at number 7? Okay? 7. As in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, must be nice. What advice do you have to people who are like looking forward to be medical students here and who are maybe thinking of giving up because they've tried so often or they have one try left and stuff like that?
Well, I would say keep on trying. The amount of times I've tried, all the different programs that I tried, but what I've learned is that whatever is meant for you is gonna come for you. Whatever, like I feel like everything that happened in my life and in the order that it happened was all for a reason. I feel like the person who I am now compared to who I was 5 years ago is so different, and I feel like it takes so much more out of the medical program now than I would have 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I feel like I can become a better doctor because of it, because of how much I can take in now compared to 5 years ago. And my advice is, if you really want it, keep trying. Keep trying. And whatever is meant for you will come to you. And just be yourself, as cliche as that sounds.
I know, but it really is key nowadays.
It really is. They've heard everything all before.
Exactly. So what are you bringing which is new?
Exactly.
That's your unique power.
Exactly. And don't be shy to sell yourself.
Exactly. Tough, guys, but you can do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've heard a lot of success stories over the past year where like maybe I can just share 2 of them. One of my friends, he actually got into SUMA. That's how I know about SUMA in Rotterdam. But we've spoken multiple times. What did I say?
You're somewhere else.
Tough. But basically, we've spoken multiple times about the whole process. He's tried in Maastricht like 2-3 times, I think, and he didn't get in. And like this was literally like his last try. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna try in Maastricht for the ACO program, but I'm gonna try in Amsterdam, in Utrecht, for the SUMA program. Yeah. And like eventually he got in, and it's in Dutch and everything. And he has to like struggle with his Dutch, but he's in. Yeah. After like 6 years of trying, or 5 years, I forget how long it was, but it was long. My roommate, when I just moved to Maastricht, I was living outside in the village. He also has been trying to get into medicine for like the longest time. Like he was almost 30 when he finally got in Germany because he's German. And like it's just crazy how people actually want this so much that they're persevering there and they finally get it. Because it's like if it's for you, it's for you. Like it's gonna. If you keep working hard to get there, you would eventually get there. It's no rocket science behind it. So I think if you really want to be a doctor like a lot of you want to, because you message me with the fire in your eyes to how do I get into medicine? I want to become a doctor. Just keep doing your part. And eventually, if it's meant for you, it's going to come.
That's true. And something I have to remind myself always, it doesn't make me any less of a doctor. Having taken so long to get in.
Yeah.
Doesn't make me any less. Doesn't mean I'm any less qualified.
If anything, I think it definitely makes you better. Because like you said, and I think I definitely resonate, like that resonates with me. Coming back with a more mature predisposition lets you just taking things in a much more refined and fulfilling way. Like you know why you're learning what you're learning, because you know how much it took you to get here. People just leave high school and get here like bro, let's go drink and just go to class and sleep and we pass the exam. That's all that it is. Like you have a better understanding of, okay, why do I actually want to do this? I know why I'm here. You have a mature perspective, outlook on the world, and you can just see things in a different way. Your filter is different. And I feel like that puts you in a much better position to, from day one already, make the most of your time. And ultimately, you're becoming the best doctor that you can become because you understand how what you want to, where you want to get to. I feel like that is powerful, because a lot of people just come here and just toe the line and get there, and it's like there's no difference between you and the next person. Because there's nothing unique about you. There's nothing different about you. It's like, how do you differentiate yourself? Like that's key. If you actually come in.
You can have 50 people in a lecture hall, but everyone's leaving with different things.
And that is the key. I feel like that's how you differentiate yourself from the rest. Interesting. Okay, I finished my questions. Do you have any questions? Do you have any remarks? Last words for the audience?
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I hope we've enlightened and inspired.
Exactly. I definitely
future
think so.
doctors.
I think your story, it was inspirational for me to hear. So I can imagine it's definitely inspirational for the people as well. I am sure of that. Anyways, guys, leave a thumbs up if you actually felt like this was inspirational. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, so you don't miss out on any videos we're going to be putting out. Definitely subscribe to her channel. I'm going to try to put it in the description. I feel like I always forget these things when I see it. But
I'll comment.
Put it, otherwise, exactly. Otherwise, she's going to comment and you can see her and follow her. For those of you who follow me a lot on YouTube because of medical school and stuff like that, she has a very active channel and she's in year 1. So you best believe if she makes it to February, like I hope she does with making content, then you're definitely in good hands with her, with all her content, the medical school, and actually seeing how it is from the day-to-day lives of a medical student starting from year 1 to hopefully when she gets to year 10 or 12 or wherever it's going to be. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching up until now, and until next time, stay blessed and peace. Okay.
A running joke. Hey!
Don't worry about it.
There's an essay, guys.
Just focus. Okay, guys. So welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Hillman here. Today I have a guest with me. Actually, is the name Aila or Aila? I was like, should I ask the question before?